think the clear indication from the responses to the survey were that industry feels that risk is being identified, allocated and managed better in 2010 than it was in 2006, that parties are taking a clearer and more sophisticated approach to risk, and that things are certainly improving. That doesn't mean that things are, by any stretch of the imagination, perfect as yet, but that there has been a marked increase or marked improvement since 2006. I think one of the key concerns or issues is that there's a clear divergence between principals and contractors in their views on whether risk is being appropriately allocated and whether it's a negotiated outcome or an imposed outcome. Clearly, from the contractor's point of view, a higher percentage felt that risk was being imposed on them rather than being fully negotiated, and that the risks that they were being asked to accept on projects were inappropriate. There was a significantly higher percentage of contractors who felt that was the case than principals. Now, the report found that in projects where risk was being inappropriately allocated and not properly managed, the outcomes for the project were significantly less favourable than for projects where there was an efficient and effective risk identification, allocation and management process in place from the outset. In fact, the positive results were nearly twice as high in those projects where there were effective and efficient and appropriate risk allocation than in those where it was not. Now, the impacts are significant. The survey respondents indicated that in relation to time, where there were project delays, those delays were in 20% of cases more than 12 months of overall delay. In relation to cost, again, we're talking about a 20% cost overrun in many projects. The magnitude of that, I suppose, is shown when you're talking about projects with a project value of more than $1 billion, where 10% of the projects had cost overruns of more than $200 million. So the impact of inappropriate risk allocation is clearly significant. One of the key things is that project participants need to take a project-specific approach to risk allocation, to look at the individual project that they're dealing with, identify the risks and issues that may apply to that particular project rather than just taking the same approach that they've taken on previous projects and seeking to apply it the next time. I think one of the other key issues is to make sure that there is appropriate time and resources being dedicated to the risk process, identification, allocation and management, right from the outset of the project through the negotiation process and continuing on into the delivery phase of the project. It's important where possible to ensure that key people with appropriate experience and expertise are brought onto the team as early as possible in the project process and are kept on that project through the negotiation and then implementation phases, so that you have a continuity of understanding of the contract arrangements and the risk profile and management that's been considered throughout the project. And that, and I think particularly importantly, there is open and clear communication between the parties to identify risks when they do occur, because they will occur, to ensure that they're dealt with in a timely and cost-effective manner.